Drop it. Yeah.
What is going on, guys? My name is Flexible and today I got another video for you. Now it's been a while now and I think I've been saying this for the past few videos now, but you know how life goes, you know, sometimes it gets busy, you can't make many videos and stuff, but today I'm here and I want to talk about the Spirit Charmer structure deck, which has been released something like 5 days ago, 4 to 5 days ago, at least in Europe. F in chat for the boys in America who can't buy one yet, but yeah. So I have to be honest, guys, the structure deck itself, if you're looking for like a competitive, like borderline competitive deck, or at least somewhat powerful deck, then this structure deck is pretty lackluster. Though I have to say there are some very good like reprints and generic inclusions, like hand traps and stuff. So if you're just looking to have some fun and at the same time get some powerful staples, then this structure deck is definitely for you. Or if you're just like getting back into the game, trying to have some fun with a not so powerful, like not so combo heavy meta deck, and just want to get used to playing it again, or just you like the Charmers, or you like them back in the day and now you've seen, oh, they've released a new structure deck, then this is definitely for you. If you're looking for a powerful, like competitive tier 2 deck or something like that, like Salamangreat, then this is definitely not for you. And now that we've gotten all of this out of the way, let's quickly talk about some of the most interesting inclusions in my opinion. And those would be, first of all, also I can take this away real quick, the tokens. Now every structure deck comes with 2 promo cards. One of them is one of 5 different tokens. As you can see right now, I've bought 3 structure decks. And then there are also the retrains of the Charmer Girls with alternate artworks and ultra rare. Very beautiful cards in my opinion. I've pulled 3 different ones for each tokens and the Charmer Girls. And now I don't want to talk about the entire structure deck because many of the cards are not interesting at all, at least to me. And they're not very powerful. They're just included because of spellcasters or whatever. So like, you know, they have to fill the deck somehow. But I want to talk about the 5 most interesting cards that are related to the archetype, and then the 5 most powerful cards overall in the entire structure deck. And starting it off with the archetype specific ones, there's one of the retrains of the familiar monsters, which is the Earth one specifically in this case. Is I think a very good inclusion in the structure deck, and also it's a very good retrain of this of these cards in general. Because one of the problems that the Charmer Girls have with their retrains is that you need to send to the graveyard 2 monsters to special summon one of them for a bad effect, basically. So you're losing out on card advantage. This one specifically, however, nullifies the loss in card advantage, because when you summon him out by sending 2 monsters to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 4 lower monster from a graveyard back to the field. So what you're doing essentially is you're sending 2 monsters to the graveyard, bringing 1 back with this effect, and also you're getting this one who most likely will have more attack points, for example. So if anything, you're just improving your board by summoning him with his own effect. And also you can special summon him from the deck, just like the you can do with the Charmer Girls. So this might even gain you even more card advantage. And then the next 2 cards I want to talk about is one of the Spirit Charmers, the quick spell, and the permanent spell, Awakening of the Possessed. I think this one's pretty old, this one should be new. The quick play spell, you discard 1 card and then you can search 1 card and set 1 card to your field, which both have to be familiar monsters, Charmer monsters, or Charmer spell and trap cards. So it's sort of like a pen call, but 10 times less powerful because the archetype is less powerful. Though it's a very good inclusion. Having search cards in the deck is always very good, and especially since this one's a quick play card, I definitely like this a lot. And Awakening of the Possessed is a permanent spell card, which also has some synergies with some of the effects. And at the same time, it boosts your monsters for the amount of different attributes you control, while also protecting your familiar monsters. But also, when you have this card face up on the field and you normally special summon a Charmer spellcaster monster, you can draw 1 card, which is pretty dope. So those 2 cards basically do the entire work for the deck in terms of gaining card advantage. Very cool inclusions. Also, this is exactly what decks like these need, since they're very old and like very much power even compared to other like casual decks, I want to say. So definitely cool cards. And then the next ones are what's it called? Possessed Partnership or something like that, I guess. I got the German ones and I forgot to read up the English names. And then this one is probably called Not Possessed. Now this one is a pretty cool piece of interaction with your opponent, because you can special summon a spellcaster monster with 1500 defense points, which all the Charmer Girl retrains have, either from hand or graveyard. And then if you control monsters with 2 or more different attributes, you can destroy one of your opponent's cards, which is pretty cool. So not only gaining card advantage, but also taking away cards from your opponent. And then you can banish this card from the graveyard, to set one permanent possessed spell or trap card that you have from in the graveyard back to your field. So that's why I also mentioned there's some synergy with the permanent spell cards and also with this one with the permanent trap. So even if they get destroyed, which since they give you some protection to your monsters, setting them back to your field can be very powerful. And then the permanent trap card, not possessed, is probably the most loaded card for the entire archetype. It protects your monsters because they can't be destroyed by battle. In damage calculation, your familiar monsters battling gain 800 attack points, so there's again the attack boost. And also, while a monster you control is destroyed by a battle or card effect while you control this face-up card, you can special summon a monster with 1500 defense points. Now, as I mentioned, all of the Charmer Ghost retrains have this specific stat from your deck in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. So again, securing your card advantage and protecting your monsters. Working also very well with the permanent spell card, with the normal trap card. Very good synergy here, and also helping you establish favorable game states. So now we've taken this out of the way, I quickly want to talk about some of the generic inclusions. So one of them is Twin Twisters. Now, this format specifically that we have right now is not very favorable to Twin Twisters, I would say, because most decks that are relevant right now are combo decks. Even if some of them play spell cards a lot, I guess, like the Equip spells and Infernoble Knight or whatever. I still wouldn't say that Twin Twister is super relevant right now. Definitely a good inclusion though, because there's for sure gonna be a point where the format requires a lot of back row hate again in the future. Or even like depending on your local meta, maybe all your friends play control decks, you know, and then this is a perfect inclusion in any side or main deck. And just in general, having those powerful or formerly powerful staple cards in reprinted in structure decks is always very nice to see. Similarly with Raigeki, basically the counterpart, because it just destroys the monsters. It's limited for a reason, it's super powerful, obviously. Also with Lightning Storm being out, this serves as a very nice budget alternative, I want to say, even though it's at 1, so you will need way more cards to supplement your monster hate, basically, your board breaking cards. This wouldn't have been an issue if they reprinted evenly matched. I just want to throw it out there real quick, but you know, beggars can be choosers, I guess. Then the next one I want to talk about is Solemn Warning, which at the measly cost of 2000 life points, you can negate a summon or an effect that would summon from your opponent, obviously. And especially now, like, I'm always thinking about the meta, but this deck specifically is never going to be able to combat the meta in the slightest, so maybe we shouldn't even think about it that way, or I shouldn't. But having one of the most powerful generic trap cards, counter trap cards in the entire game, reprinted in the structure deck, just helps you control the game, as it is probably, as far as I'm concerned now, supposed to do anyway. So definitely a nice inclusion. Then actually the next two cards, I can't exactly say which one is more powerful or like more relevant right now, because one of them is Effect Veiler. Hand traps are always going to be relevant. I don't think there's ever going to be a format, except when they're banned or something, where hand traps are not going to be played in some form. And having one of the more impactful hand traps reprinted as a common here is helping budget players and just people who try to experience the game for the first time, have gotten into it newly or whatever. Definitely nice. Okay, damn, I definitely need to check my batteries before recording in the future. So yeah, the next card, the last card I want to talk about is on par with Effect Veiler in terms of variability and also impact on not only the metagame, but just in general, like in terms of deck building and playing against other people, is Dark Ruler No More. Now, obviously, as I've said multiple times now, the meta is full of combo decks. Dark Ruler No More, alongside Forbidden Droplets, are some of the most important cards to prepare against decks like those, which in your local meta, and especially with playing this deck, it's not gonna be as relevant, obviously. Like with this deck, you won't fare well against combo decks in general, so it might not be the biggest selling point in this case, but in general, like depending on how you build the deck, and also just to make it more available, or like more cheaply available to budget players and to newly starting players who just want to buy some cheap product and get some powerful cards along the way. This is definitely a perfect inclusion. It would have been even better if they included it alongside Evenly Matched, because Dark Ruler Evenly is one of the most powerful 2-card combos in the entire game. Okay, and this is it with the video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I had a lot of fun opening all these cards, reading the new support, and trying to build a deck around it and stuff. Especially also the more generic inclusions like Veiler and Dark Ruler, as I talked about, are super cool. I'm happy to see that. And yeah, as I said, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then leave a thumbs up in the video. Leave a dislike if you didn't, but more importantly, leave a comment down below and tell me what exactly you didn't like, because I'm always trying to improve my content. I have a lot of fun doing it, but I want you guys to have just as much fun watching it. And also the next video, probably by the end of the week, like Friday, possibly, is going to be a deck profile, because as you might have been able to tell, I bought 3 structure decks, and I'm trying to build the best possible deck just out of those structure decks, so keep an eye out for that. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, you know the deal. And other than that, guys, see you next time.